Hi, everyone. Glad to have you with us today for a topic that I know I really need this week, especially. Perhaps you are like me, and so you're going to be able to take something away for it. As we sort of trudge through yet another week of COVID-19, right? We are going to do a little bit of an emotional health check-in today with Dr. Bobby Jain, chair of the Department of Psychiatry at Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center in the Permian Basin. Doctor, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate you taking some time out.
Oh, I have plenty of time. Don't worry about that. And I've loved talking to folks. And you're not the only one needing psychiatric help. That say that a psychiatrist or the mental health providers need most psychiatric help.
Well, actually, that's kind of comforting, to be perfectly honest with you today.
Well, let me ask you, why are we in this business in the first place? We need more help.
There you go. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. Well, tell me a little bit about you, kind of how you found yourself to the Permian Basin area, Texas in general, and what you do for Texas Tech.
As you mentioned, I have multiple hats. I've been in West Texas Permian Basin area for the last 10 years. Started with one individual psychiatrist, myself, to start the department. At the time, we were having the first batch of the third-year clerkship program started. Psychiatry is one of the core issues that medical students need to learn before they can graduate. So they were looking for someone to start that program. And as we evolved into that, we started the residency program. With a lot of encouragement from my superiors, Dr. Ventolini and Dr. Burks, were very instrumental, along with a host of other people. These are just two big names, but there are a number of people who have been supportive towards it. So, and then most recently, we started the Child Psychiatry Fellowship Program. And we have been able to incorporate a number of bells and whistles to the program. To make it very competitive and make available most cutting edge interventions like shock therapy and the TMS and the ketamine therapies. It's all available here in West Texas with us, the one-stop shopping, psychiatric shopping strip, if you can want to call that. You don't have to go to Dallas, you don't have to go to San Antonio. You can get most of your psychiatric health care need. In fact, a lot of people are coming from other states, adjoining state, mostly from New Mexico and other parts of the state coming to us to get specialized treatments.
I think it's also, from a student perspective, it's also really nice to have a strong psychiatry department as well, because while you might not be interested in going into that specialty, it can be a very important way to help treat patients in other fields as well, right?
True, that's very true. And I tell the medical students, many of them are not interested in psychiatry, and that's okay with me. But I do tell them that if you are going to be practicing next 40, 50 years of your career, this is the 8 weeks is the most psychiatry you will get. So, and you will use it because patients will come with their heads on. Patients don't leave their heads at home and come to see you for a heart or belly or any other organ. They come with their heads, and you will be needed to treat them. And this is especially true for primary care. It's very true for OBGYN, and statistics show that primary care physician, family practice physician, OBGYN physician treat and dispense more antidepressants than psychiatrists do, simply because people are more comfortable seeing those folks. There is less stigma seeing them. There's more stigma seeing psychiatrists. And psychiatrists are very difficult to get because we have so few of us. Hopefully, this will change and this is a national thing and an international thing. It's not just West Texas. But hopefully with time and encouraging of a lot of medical students, we'll be having to grow a whole new crop of psychiatrists. That if you can throw a stone for a mile, it will hit at least 2 or 3 psychiatrists on their heads.
Okay. Well, I just want to, well, that I think is such an interesting kind of way to think about psychiatry and attending medical school and everything. But I do want to take a moment and just kind of touch on the idea that there are a lot of people who are dealing with an increased anxiety right now. I know I kind of woke up today and thought, Still, are we still doing this? And there is sort of an emotional taxing happening too. Any advice for people who are dealing kind of with the heightened anxiety during this time period?
Yeah, true. And I have patients who feel as if trapped in their houses and trapped in a situation. They don't have options and choices. And many of these people do have sedentary lifestyle, but now since they cannot go outside, it becomes very difficult for them. And this is a thing of perspective. I tell to my patients, and I try to remind myself also, that this being quarantined is a once in a lifetime opportunity if you have a different perspective. The last time we had a pandemic was 100 years ago. So this is once in a generation or multi-generation opportunity to stay home and spend time with your loved ones, believe it or not, to regrow those connections with your friends, families, and other folks, to do things that you probably always wanted to. You probably have put it on the bucket list that you want to do when you retire, like build a bird house or something, or connect to your grandchildren, or connect to the long lost friend that you have not connected. So I think it's a great opportunity to look at yourself and do things that in the hustle bustle of daily life we have never been able to do. This it's kind of slow pause. I would have a different perspective over that, and that helps for most folks, rather than thinking that the doom and gloom that awaits us in terms of economy, the doom and gloom that awaits of so many Americans and everybody struggling, particularly in the Northeast, folks are dying. It's very sad. Economy-wise, our West Texas economy is not doing well because of the oil prices. Yes, there are challenges, but we Americans, and Americans equals resilience and ability to bounce back. And I'm, as I say that, this country has so much to offer, and so much has offered to everybody, including immigrants like me, that nobody can put America down anywhere. So we will bounce back in every way, in every nook and corner way. And this is just a pause. It's not a period, it's a pause, and make the most of it. When life gives lemon, as they say, make lemonade.
There you go. I like it. Now I'm a little thirsty now that you mention it. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, let's talk about the people, the healthcare workers out there who can't stay home. And those people are definitely under a lot of increased stress right now. They're seeing this on the front lines. You're helping those people in a special way, right?
Yes. We have actually developed a platform. Of course, it's on the telepsychiatry or telemedicine platform on Zoom, providing a platform for everybody, every healthcare worker. Now, I do think healthcare workers, I've kept it separate from the general population, because the healthcare workers do face a very different form of stressful. Most people come to a healthcare business. Of course, you want the security of the financial security because healthcare industry is secure. But most of us come here with a deep burning sense of helping others, doing the things that we get trained for. But then as we grow older and do things, we have other priorities. So we have mothers who have small children. We have physicians and other people who have elderly parents. And they have to balance the fact that they have to go and see these patients and come back home and possibly, in theory, jeopardize the health of people who are vulnerable. So that actually balances, and that brings up additional stresses, and the fact that people are dying, and then you're seeing them every day. You see them, people are steadily deteriorating, and they're dying, and the loved ones are not able to see them. I have horror stories about it. It's no surprise, a very astute and a very, very pro ER physician in Northeast in New York actually committed suicide, because the stress of it, dealing with this pandemic, can get the best of us. And if we don't have an outlet, and I tend to believe most physicians tend to because we are in the position of providing healthcare and benefits and recommendations and advice to people, we like to be seen as invincible, or at least we don't like to show it. But we are actually more fragile and more delicate than most other folks are. But we are 10 times more reluctant to seek help unless we are provided a separate kind of environment where, just like just like VA folks, only VA folks coming from, I've seen veterans from Vietnam War, and they say that you won't understand unless you have been in the war before.
Mm-hmm.
You won't understand what I'm going through if you've been in the Nam with me or Gulf War. I think the same applies to healthcare workers, where the if you've not been there, you don't know what it feels like to be there. And we understand our lingo. So building up a support groups of healthcare providers makes sense. And this is what we try to do. It's not very well accepted in the sense that the participation has not been as great as I anticipated it will be, but the needs are huge. I get number of senior doctors asking for contact information. Where can I send my colleague there? Mm-hmm. When they say colleague, I know who the colleague is, but very few actually do show up. Those who show up do benefit. I get benefit myself because I'm at the forefront also in a way.
Yeah. Well, so you're doing sort of some virtual support groups. How can people get involved in those? And the one thing that I do think has been really advantageous about this is we've found ways to connect no matter where you are, and so yeah. This is great for people that are in the Permian Basin, in Amarillo, in Lubbock, Abilene, Dallas, all the spots, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All they have to do is contact me. We have our flyers all over the places. We have targeted 2 hospitals, the Medical Center Hospital and the Midland Memorial Hospital, but maybe through your program here, I can disseminate that information to larger folks. I tend to meet every day, including Saturday and Sunday from 7:30 to 8:30 Central Time, and anybody can join in. And they can be as anonymous as they want to and as well known as they want to. The goal is not to pry on what exactly you did. The goal is to build up support from each other.
I would think also, in addition to having that support group, those people around you that are going to keep you up, I would think that you want to make sure that you have sort of those basic healthcare needs as well, right? You're taking care of your body physically. You're getting enough rest. You're eating healthfully, right?
We are the ones, we are very notorious. Physicians are very notorious of not practicing what we preach. Well, I wouldn't say all of us, I would say many of us. Physicians will go out of the way to do things, recommending how important self-rejuvenation, relaxation, meditation, exercise is important. And yet, physicians have very high rates of suicide, very high rates of depression, very high rates of substance abuse, very high rates of divorces, very high rates of burnout. To me, all of these are signs of mental illness and mental stress that has not been addressed adequately. And to some extent, it applies to me. Mm-hmm. If you can compare my waistline compared to 10 years ago before it's it's one way or the other. So I'm guilty of that myself. But we are notoriously resistant because we know everything, don't we? Mm-hmm. Ask me. If you don't know it, ask me.
Well, as we kind of wrap up the serious part, any other parting thoughts for us today as far as mental health as we go into the next several weeks?
I think we need to come out. I think if I had to say one single message, I would say that is to let's bring mental illness or mental health talk to the forefront. Bring it into our living rooms as a major talk, not something that is taboo, not that is something hush hush. The more we talk about it, the more openly we discuss about it, the less stigmatized it becomes, the more we are willing to seek help. And I think this is the basic thing that stops us from being even more prosperous, even more powerful, even more high achieving. If we have mental health, we have everything. If we don't have mental health, we can do everything. We cannot do anything.
Mm-hmm. It's good advice for sure. And it's good advice for today and for a couple of weeks, but in a couple of years as well. Indeed. I really, really love that. So I appreciate that today. Now, I don't know that this is going to be particularly valuable to you, but we're going to play the lightning round anyway. Okay, sir?
Okay.
This is very important. These are serious questions that you have to just go with your gut and answer first thing. Ready?
Okay. Okay.
First question. This is a toughie. Crunchy or smooth?
Crunchy, obviously.
Crunchy. Oh, a little extra in your peanut butter, huh? Absolutely. Ice cream. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Butter pecan.
Oh, that's the first butter pecan we've gotten. Wow. You're unique as well. Okay. Are you binge watching anything right now? Is there something that during the quarantine that you've had some time and you've really binge watched?
Whatever YouTube channel shows me, I watch it.
Golly. All right. What is a weird online purchase you've made since the quarantine began? Any strange online purchases?
Who's the audience? Is it PGY 13 and above, or is it above PGY, or is this?
We'll cut it out if it's bad. But if it's good, we'll want to keep it.
No, the only thing because I've started running on the streets now, so I have bought a hearing thing, a sports hearing thing that I can listen to music and go. That's the only thing I have bought.
Those are crazy, huh? And they work well, right?
Yeah, they work well. Yeah, that's the only thing I've brought. I had headphones, but they rattle when you run. So the sport one, the one you hear in the ear, that's the only thing I bought. I'm very thrifty.
Okay, last question. Are you ready? If a person, an actor, is playing you in a movie or a TV show, who is the famous actor that you want to play you?
Not Brad Pitt. I think he's already taken.
He is. Many people have chosen Brad Pitt. So what's your choice?
I really admire Clint Eastwood because of his work ethic and his dedication, and how much, and with hard work and everything, he has excelled in everything he's done, be it movie direction, be it playing actor, or anything else. I really like him in the way.
Well, I wouldn't have chosen Clint Eastwood for you, but if that's what you want, I mean, Dr. Jain will do it. We'll do what you tell us to do. You know, your wish is our command. So. Okay. All right. We certainly appreciate you spending some time with us today. And thank you for all the important work that you're doing in the Permian Basin and elsewhere as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.